Okay. Um, I don't think anyone is watching live right now, but never mind. It's in the middle of the day, and usually I would not stream this hour, but I have no work to do today, so I can do that for about an hour, perhaps. So, okay, maybe I should turn on off this. A little distracting, perhaps. Maybe you want me to as well. La, la, la. Never mind. Let's ignore that. Okay. Sorry. So, what is happening? So we have this this thing here. So this is an error, right? You can't you have to do, you know, well type, right? So like this. But in some cases, this will actually work. So the question is, should I like require this or not? Right? Because you actually could do this. But if I do that, then it just basically becomes like, okay, then maybe, enums should be again like see this thing, right? And at some point in time, this is getting gnarly. So for now, let's at least keep the val type. I was thinking I don't need to do that. Just it's a possible thing. Okay, so here we go. It's like it's parsing the type, but it's parsing it as an expression so that it can give you a slightly better error message. So in this case, we can look at what the expression was. So if it's an expression that is like maybe okay, let's make the type. If you are providing a type EI constant type ID expression. Okay. For example, then you need to wrap the expression in val type. That's the like actually the val type might that was one of the things that I wanted to reduce length of. Um, how does this look? I just what kind of error? So okay, so I've seen constant string as the no type from. Sorry, it's type from. Eval type is like going away. Type from. So we get like type from here. This should work, by the way. So it does. And if we don't have it like this, so we get this kind of thing. Let's vector type to alias here. So if you provide a constant, then you need to wrap the expression type from. I think that's better our message. So we can add that to the okay, improve error message when provide alias with a type ID expression where a where a type was expected. I think like the only times where you should get that error message actually, if I write like this, right, then this should not work. It shouldn't give like the same error message. So I can make like I can do it like this. So case expression we have not unary, but we have a ternary. Right. Oh. Thank you for that innovative thing. Okay, so if it's a ternary, then we provide that. But what other cases could you have where that, or it's a call case expression call expression might be something that you do like a macro call, right? So you do like type, but you still need to wrap that one into a type from. So that's it. It would be really nice to do that, but like this would work. Okay. But I think better to give this, make this an error. And let's see. So if we do it like this, then type to alias here. Expected the name of the type to alias here. So we should get like if we do this, then we should get. Right, okay, and if it's a unary, by the way, if it's an unary, then folder, so I call it default error, right? So if it's a call to ternary, if expression ternary is const, if it is const, then we go to default, because then we know that we should never, like in this case it's fine, but if someone does a runtime thing, then it's never right, right? Like this is never right. So maybe people do like that, but I don't know. Maybe I should keep the old way. Wait. Keep it for both of them, because maybe someone accidentally writes like this, right? Let's see. Did I? And this one's wrong actually, right? So this shouldn't be like this. I could defer this error message further, but okay, for now this is good enough. Okay. Right. So improve error message when so this is basically this. I can just okay. I already. There we go. And now I can just add this as a test case, by the way. So we see that copy this thing, alias bad alias should type from. Right, now I can run the tests. Okay, I was going to do something else that I slipped my mind now. So meanwhile, I'm going to write up the stuff in that particular issue. Give us all that information in that. By the way, it's like soon, end of February, and it's actually the idea is that we are releasing on the 28th. So this is actually just 10 days. It's a very short cycle this time. It was 0.7.9 was a long one. So we are on the road to release actually soon. There will not, I mean, there's not a lot of stuff in here, right? But there are improvements, definitely. And not that many fixes. We didn't have a lot of problems, but there are some additions, right? So we have this one is an important thing. And this new integration that Manu did, so I know how I should pronounce your name. So anyway, so and then new const enum, and that is not set yet, right? So we are still using both, like const and enum. It's const enum and enum. But this one is a big thing, and I mean this is like with these individual warning settings. That's a very it starts some things making so there you can get like more more fine-grained control over everything. That reminds me that maybe those suggestions now to how to suppress the deprecation, those should change. But I don't remember if I did. I don't think I did, the warnings in the build options yet. So there's that. To do. But there was something else. There was something else I was going to do after this. So this looks like everything is passing, but shouldn't pass all of them, because if they pass, oh, here we go. So this is always like, always do this. If you're not used to testing, always make it fail from the beginning. Otherwise, you are setting yourself up for a lot of pain when you discover that your tests that you thought passed actually aren't, they aren't used at all. They aren't run at all, and that's easy to like. It happens to me occasionally. Like when I don't put it in the test suite, I put it in the unit tests here, and then I run the tests and like, yeah, you know, it passed. I don't need to rerun this, so I already copy pasted the error message, so we should be fine with this. So that change expect the name of the type to that's badly phrased. Okay, but maybe someone else can suggest something better for that. But we didn't copy paste this, right? Like this. You don't see it. I wish you like you can see my pop up here. But it is what it's. Right, so now we push that, and I should update the issue as well. So fix needs testing. Work now. Okay, there was something else I wanted to do while I still have some time. Let's see. I was like, let me see if I can refresh my memory. So it wasn't here. It was like I was working on something, and I was like in the middle of thinking about it. What could that have been? Yes, the contracts. Okay, so the contracts currently are AST nodes, right? And we have they are parsed as such, but they are not really good as AST nodes. So there should be something different. And then there is the problem with deprecation. I got the PR to remove deprecation from the contract, but it shouldn't be removed. It should be working, not removed. But it doesn't work, right? So these are the things that I need to fix. Sorry. So here we have AST ID, right? So we are using this list of things. If I allocate something random, then I usually don't have the some node like this. So the AST ID here is like, it just happens to be possible to do it in this way and just reuse things, but it's not that nice actually. So I was thinking that maybe we should have a let's see here, contract, right? So contract, here we go. Here we go. So there's a contract statement, and it just feeds into, it's like a doc directive, and there's a list of these. Hang on, I'm just going to let my cat in. She's sitting outside of the office here. Let's go. So the problem with this is that while a directive itself is not a problem, we are just storing a list of these, like that you have to iterate through. And we keep this, like, we want to keep it fairly compact because it takes a lot of space to store it, right? So in the, let me jump to this, the definition here, we have AST ID somewhere, right? So in the contract ID, contract somewhere. So in a declaration. So here we have for each declaration, we might have a set of contracts for it. I try to keep this very, very compact. But unfortunately, there is no, like, here you see a lot of booleans and they are not quite overlapping. So it does take some space. We could use, instead of doing this, we could use a mask explicitly. I try to avoid that. But okay. Anyway, we kind of have to have space for everything. Like, unfortunately, a line size like to, you could store this line size in just like a byte, because then the offset would, like the not the offset. So offset is fine, but the alignment, for example, that one is would be a power 2. So you can store it in a char, right? So but I use it so frequently that it ends up being like bad to do it like that. So you see, if I look up the uses of alignment, you see that it just pops up in a lot of places. And then you have to convert it back and forth, which is not so nice. So we end up having a lot of like information anyway here. So these declarations ought to have contracts, like some of them have contracts. Here we go. Like a generic declaration of the task contract, the task contracts, of course. Enums will not have contracts, but a function will, right? So if I say a function declaration, it does contain like a body and then has docs, right? So we don't want a pointer, preferably, because I want to pack this fairly tightly, right? So we end up having stuff that is, yeah. It's interesting. What's it take? Wide body? Yeah, okay. Here's them. This is like for the information for the macro, I guess. And these are just functions. So function stuff. Okay. Why is this one up here? Low type. So we get this. If I have an AST instead, like let me add another docs. Like I think we will overshoot the space available, because this one is a big, yeah, look at this. So it's a assert that doesn't say like the declaration should not exceed 136. So maybe like some declaration like this is a big one, and maybe it should be allocated separately. But now it's like, yes, it's to get together with everything else, just a declaration. So declarations are big. That's just the way it is. And that means I don't want to make this bigger than this. That's why I picked, I think, declaration ID, because I got it. But what it can do is that we can keep it as an AST node, I suppose, right? Oh, hang on, there was some, right? Let's see. There we go. Sorry, I wasn't looking at the chat. And someone is your stream is okay. I don't know. That seems like a bit of okay. Let me see here. So okay, let's continue. So what we can do here is look at this. How this is created, right? So we have init docs used in that way. Here we go. Here is some docs, la la la. We assign the docs here. So like here are contracts, right? So we have this, which is created like up here. Contracts. Here we parse the contracts and we get like contracts and this AST ID, right? So it could be either 0 or have some things, but the problem is that we do it like this. Right? So the parsing here is just going through each of them, and then we have stuff. But we want to create, like, if we have something, we want to lazily create a contract. So yes, we're gonna, like, if this happens, right? If we don't have anything, then we're gonna create this is just an AST contract, right? So the contract for was, which one was that? Oh, it's the opt return one, which is like super special. But we want to create something else, so contract. I'm just gonna add this. Now nothing is going to work because that one is not set up in other ways. Okay, but we have this, so we don't need the next actually, but what we are going to do, like, if so we're going to create an AST put it up there. Say contracts is new car the AST contracts, and because then we can just, we are assuming that we only have one comment, right? Say that. Okay, did I? Yeah. So in that case, now we're gonna have like this contracts statement. Why did that? No, it's in case, right? So contracts. We don't have that, so we are going to create one. Yes, maybe it's a declaration, by the way. It could be a declaration instead. It's more like a declaration. So let's call it decal, and then we don't have contracts. We are gonna have a decal instead. So decal new, and it's just going to be decal, and then we have like alias decal contract. We don't have anything like that, right? Decal contract, and the name is, it doesn't have a name, and the span is whatever seek span, right? It is a bit weird to have a contract like this, right? It doesn't have a name. We don't have anything else, not any other EST node. I hope sound is okay, by the way. Okay, chat was okay. I hope you see Okay. So now we need something that, okay, put this in. So here we have all of these things that the declaration has. Well, most of them we're not interested in. So instead we have contracts, okay, right? And then we have this, type that this one, do a bullet contracts. And then we're going to set like, okay, we have the comment, right? And we want that to be, we just need the comment. Do we need the place where it's actually at? I don't know. Oops. Since there, that's going to be some text, so we are maybe copying this. No, we are going to do this. Okay, so we have const char comment so size signed. We'll see what we have to do. Maybe I could just put that as a expression, right? It could be a constant expression. Okay, but anyway, so contracts equal. Like it wants to. It always, makes the wrong code completion, like most of the cases now. Okay, so then we have everything, right? And then we don't need to append any docs. Otherwise we start here and we could be done. No, we're not done, we're here, right? So if we don't have the contract yet, which we might not have, we have to generate that one. This. Okay, so here we get a name, then we have contract param. Right? And the easiest thing to do to get it to work would be for the contracts to have a list. So this first of all, so we have an MST ID, and that's like because then see this next thing will, like when we get in here, we are going to there's contracts, then we'll set it to this address. First, right? Actually, this is, so this should be, otherwise it's no. Right, and then we'll get to this point, we'll set it so we are sure that it's not null actually. Because right, and then it's going to just add it to next here. So okay, we are parsing the doc contract, what it's doing. So get the next one, and then we are taking, oh yeah, we want to have this by like Oh wait, they set it to what was the original? Now I remember. Now I know that's wrong. So I set that to okay. The we want the oh that's a bit weird. So okay, we want to update what this ASTID is pointing to. Right, so we are taking wait, what's the docs? Okay, so we have here's like the first one, which is basically this, and then we're going to update the next, which is going to be lost, right? Okay, so it's putting things in like weird order here. Right, it's just going to be this linked list. Okay, the simplest thing would then to be to basically have an IST ID, which is like first, which is this one. And then we have this. Sorry. And then we will do this. We change this first. This. And now everything with next works correctly. It's just that we're going to, instead of returning a contracts ref, we are going to update like it's going to have to change here, I guess. It's deco. I don't want to change too much because then it takes too long to get this working. Like I'm going to basically work myself backwards from this. Okay, what? Okay, that makes sense. So when we are here at this point, then we can set the contract ref is contracts, right? Contracts. What does it say here? Okay, what? Okay, yeah. AST decal ID, I guess. Tracks. Is this right now? Yes, it should be okay. So we are getting, let's try to compile this. We can get there, the place where we need to update this. So there is no type for those non-type decals, so we have to add that one. Case decal contract. Okay. And we have this. Okay. Case decal contract. Return. Now it didn't want to like. Okay, yeah. Now I can actually use that completely. Copying this is interesting. So case decal contract. For a contract, we need to do micro st list, I think. How do you copy? I think it's like this. So it's just going to copy this particular AST, no contracts, deco. Then there is this first. I think that's it. Let me see the uses of this. That should find it like elsewhere if it's correct. Switch. Okay, let's see how they copy declarations. So in here we should have contracts. Okay, contract. It just does a contra. Yeah, okay. So it's just a. It's not that like that. It's not a list. It's the ID, and then I get everything else. Okay, so I can copy it now. But of course here there's declaration may be generic. So no, it's not just not even appropriate. And then registering a symbol, we should not run into this. And then register again, we should not run into this. Here we go. Case deco. Then JSON output, we should not run into this. And someone else, let me just run this now. Okay, we still have some things. Analyze deco. Okay, we don't analyze that one separately. And let's see what else is wrong. Semantic analysis here. Okay, what's it? Register again. We can't register that one. Same type. Again, we can't register that one. Use that. And should break. Okay, on trace the liveness, that actually happens. Contract. We need to trace the liveness of contracts, but they should be handled elsewhere. So I don't think we need to do that. The Cojan also not there. What else? Okay, missing switch case again, can't be reached. Okay, name of again. Can't have an external name for that. Like this should not work. Now just gonna crash randomly, I think. Yeah. Oops. Actually, it did not crash because we got it to end in parsing, luckily. So let's see, we got the Deco contract. Let's search for that one, get the parsing. We are the parsing this, right? So we're here, right? And then we are doing this, parse contracts. Find usages of that. Okay, so here we go. And we have like the Deco ID instead. Right? Here's how kind of weak C is just allowing this. I didn't get this here now. Okay, here we go. Contracts, and I'm gonna go through it's actually not very useful to have it passed like that, of course. So let's keep it a Deco here at this point, because otherwise we're converting back and forth for no reason at all. So we're going to parse the contracts. We're going to have it like this. And now, of course, this one can go away. Actually, we can set the contracts ref to null. Well, in case we get an error, at least to set it something. Oh, it might be, here. Okay, so that means that we are parsing the contracts ref here. It's okay. Again, we have to have like first get the first, right? Yes. Same here. So nothing works really now, but it parsed, which is always super scary. Okay, so the contracts ref is actually contracts, right? So oh wait, contracts ref. What is it? It's a big contracts ref. It should be like this. Contracts ref. And so here it makes sense because we update that one. Okay, so parse contracts. Let's see the usages of that. So here we go. Actually, we don't need to set it to null because it will be set. And then we can do like, okay, AST is actually contracts. Contracts Deco first, right? And we're guaranteed that it's not going to be 0 for the first one. Oh wait, might be. You have to do this. Okay, in the other case here, we are getting, that's the first. Also, we parse the function declaration, and then we get like Deco contracts instead, right? Of course, definition is wrong as well. This. And then this last one is this one. So again, we can just Deco, set that one, and let's see where we attach contracts. So here we go, get the contracts, right? And so here we go, parse the module. Again, module is assuming contracts is a different format. So now we need to go to again the definition of it. Parse alias. Again, that's Deco. That's going to affect everything else. So when you parse an alias type, we're going to get like this. Contracts. And docs is going to be like a Deco. If there's a contract, so we have Deco ID contracts. That's 0. I think we have another few more places here. So we have here, okay, attach contracts, which is assuming that it was an AST ID. AST has any, right? AST contracts has any. What does that mean? Okay, it's like that. Okay, so we're gonna go contracts. Contracts cycle first. AST 0. And this is going to be cleaned up later. Okay, it actually takes the ID instead. Sorry. Yes, yeah, any non-require. We look at contracts stakeholder first. This is why I do it like this. Even though I'm going to change things later, it's very useful to, I guess, refactor it one thing at a time. So Deco ID contracts at 0. As you see, typing doesn't really match my, or the display doesn't really match my typing, and that's because it's a bit sluggish right now. C-Line is doing something bad. Yes. Next one is, there we go. So there, so it's either Deco ID docs or okay, and then we'll want the contracts not allowed. Yeah. We had some more problems here. What else? Contracts first. Reveal is never used. I don't know. Let's just do it like this. I think that might be used later. So okay, AST lost. Attach contracts. Okay. Right. So it's actually contracts decal first, right? So this one should then be decal. And we are assuming that we have contracts. Let's continue a bit. Conflicting types, right? So this one. yet. We're going to have a few of these. So what we're aiming for original to begin with is basically just making it work. All right, we can run the tests. So get more errors. There we go. Unexpected error. How could that be? Could it be that you are doing the wrong thing? So analyze macro, right? Analyze doc header, and the doc header is like, oh, it's a doc. Doc header is let me see if I can find doc. Is there different type docs should also take one. This is the problem. It's like silently works, but it's wrong. So okay, yeah. Oh, I missed it. So if you get to doc, then actually that's not the one you want. Docs, let's say docs, right? And then we have like not docs. Otherwise, the doc equals docs. It's sluggish now to the point that I'm getting annoyed. Decal pointer docs contracts. First, this is C. Aren't you seeing this? This is C. Why C3 and not just C? So let's crash again. Let's crash again like we did last summer. Okay. Decal ID contracts. Change. So in here, we are grabbing this, the contracts. I got those from these contracts, and these contracts should be a decal ID. So we are doing conversion there. So now everything is broken. And actually we can do one more thing here. So we can do this. Decal 0. This handles the 0 case, otherwise it doesn't. If you know what contracts and contracts first, that is not this first, then we can do this. Now we just need to copy that, right? So we have this first. Why does it then place it as an ID? Okay, so this is the only usage. Like the contracts here is like this. Okay, there's no need for that. For that. AST. Right, and then we'll put this here. Now it makes sense. Okay, while contracts, blah blah blah. Okay, yeah. So here we go. AST. Oh. AST is contracts. And then we create this, change contracts to be AST pointer 0. No, that looks right. Partly at least. I don't know why the question, like why C3 and not just C. Okay. If not contracts and or. Yeah. Okay, so here we go. We get create assert, we have require. Now let's see, directive is looking weird as heck. Probably because you are doing it from the contract. So okay, yeah, here we go. So we have analyze require. Well, okay, so we get the docs, right? From okay, docs is then oh, same as required docs. Now it's like a doc ID. So actually, doc that's not docs, so it's more like decal ID, right? So where is it going to go like this? And docs is going to be like a 0. Decal pointer. And contracts first. I don't know if people can see this, but it's showing a bit of why this is good. Why this change will be good. So we're gonna analyze the contracts. Again, here we get like, let's see, we have the, everyone doing this. So here we go with docs, which is going to be like a decal ID. And again, here's, I guess, the docs, which comes from here. I think it's yeah, it made sense when I did it, but now it's like wrong. Okay, so AST ID is docs is going to be like contracts and contracts completion. Or do we have contracts somewhere else? Contracts. I don't remember first. Constacks, yeah. You get a bit lazy with the autocomplete, I guess. Okay, and then if you have it, then you're gonna do this copy thing. For some reason, you want the stid again, which you don't need. Okay, let's just go with that because I'm too lazy. Then we have this one, should do exactly the same thing. So why do I do it like that? Why do I even copy it? Oh wait. It's this special analysis that I do. Okay, find usages. Okay, once I get to that, it's assumed that it's not. So in this case, I really need to get the. Okay, hello. I want to ask him to the non-module generics. Why generics with the same generic instead by group? So this is being a level with atomic in as such a particular someone breaks contract requirements. So I would name them differently. Yeah. So why are they? If in the same module, I'll get to that. But basically, you want to have a single. The nice thing about having the old style of generics was that you defined everything in a group, right? So when you think like if you have a non-module generic, that is not a thing. There is no thing as a non-module or a module generic anymore. They are the same. So they are grouped, and they're grouped by if there's the same module and the same parameter name, they belong to the same group. And while I could explicitly create those groups, that was very unnice in the sense of like, let me show you. Because I get the question, and maybe I need to take a break anyway. I have to run away. So let's say you have two things. We have a struct foo, okay, and that one's parameterized type in this case. And then we have something else that is working on this. So we have a create foo, and it's going to return a foo type. We take and like now there is no type, it's not used, but it doesn't matter. I just want to show you. So if you do like this, right, and then return, let's say return just this a equals x, right? And now we add a contract to this one, require type kind of equals signed. What was it? Signed in, right? Now, if I do it like this, and then I say like this foo double. Now it's okay. Let me shelve this thing. Show changes, otherwise we can't show it. Factor. So if I do it like this, unless I do some typo or something, we should get, boom, let's compile this. Recompiling the compiler. right? Okay, so type name was hello, of course. I don't know what I'm writing. This is not C++. Right? Okay, assignment. Okay, sorry about that. So I got a different error. So here you go, like parameters failed, validation required type of sign-in violated, right? Okay, but what about this? Create foo double one. What happens if I do that? Now, since they are in the same group, then the validation will fail here because they're created together. This is true even if it's a void. So if I do it like this, it still errors out because like they are declared as a group. And we can have multiple types that are working together. So you can have like a struct foo helper here, which also is parameterized with this. So maybe like this. Imagine, for example, maybe there are two types. So here we have other. And in this case, we are having like A and we have type and we have other B, right? And here we just use the type. Now, we set this require instead of this foo helper here and say that the other must be now, if we then do like foo, int double x. Now this fails because of this other. We need this other to be right. And the thing is not that I could like ignore this and just I could ignore it, but then when generating code, the errors would be inside instead of like at the calling site, right? It would end up somewhere else. Like if I didn't have this, right? Okay, and then I did a function like foo helper pass like this, and then I would take like self, and then maybe I do like self long int 128 x equals self b, right? So now if I instantiate this one, and now I don't have any contracts or anything, what happens is that even though I instantiate this one, I get this error inside of foo helper. And that's not what I want. So that's why I add constraints. So I can add constraints in here, for example, require other kind of equals sign. Right? So now that helps me with this validation so that it doesn't create an error. Like it's creating it here in the inline place, not inside of that function, right? So this here the okay, so it's inline. That's actually wrong. So, but anyway, the parameter failed. This. So that's what the grouping is for. So if you do the grouping through a module or do it like this ad hoc, like it's the same thing, right? And the idea is also to kind of eagerly resolve any of these things so that when you're testing, it's not like, yeah, it works and works and works, and then suddenly a method doesn't work or something. They are all done together. So that's why. And what I tried, so the idea could have been like, say, I call this group foo instead, right? and now it could like, then we could have had like this, right? We could have had whatever, do like this, and then I call this group also foo, and now they are, done together. But that would be not as nice, or forcing it to be like in the module. It would not be as nice to add this. It's just, I did minimal. I know it's a bit weird. That you have to do it. There's also this, by the way. So if I have this in the module, so like a module foo, right? And I want to extend it in another module foo, it just like a module section, then it works also. It just recognizes this. So if I had like, if I just did it with it like this, right, type other, then what happened if I wanted to extend this with another module section? Is it then matching? Are those matching or not? It just gets weird. So that's. But I'm going to cut this short because I might need to do some other things. So I'm going to resume this a little later, I think, if I have time. But for now, I'm just going to say goodbye and thank you for